Okay, so we made it to the bridge, so Pegasus Bridge. This is where the British 6th Airborne Division landed, near this bridge, on the night of the 5th of June 1944.
Hello and welcome back.
Welcome back. Shades are on now because the sun is shining, so happy with that.
Yeah, so we've just had 2 nights at this place.
Yeah.
And I will show you around in a minute, but what we're doing today.
We're off to the Normandy beaches area, right?
Yeah.
So that's good.
That's where we're going. So yeah, we're just doing the services. It's got a service space here.
And it's all done.
Yeah, oh, you finished?
I've finished, yeah. So water filled up, wastewater emptied. Yeah, we're good to travel now. This is, I suppose, our third night, and again on level, but it's lowered right on the front. You can see how much that's lowered actually, and on the rear it's raised it a bit. So we are now nice and level. All good actually, a nice little air. Yeah. Right, let's get in, chill out, because I've been driving for 3 hours.
I'm trying to sort these seat covers out.
Yeah.
Because...
trying to make them better.
Yeah.
Don't blame you.
They keep coming undone. Morning.
Good morning. So yesterday was mainly travelling down because it was only about three and a half hour drive.
It's more travelling up and across because we were down near the Somme area and now we're up near Normandy.
So we are in Normandy, so we're not that far actually from Pegasus Bridge. So it's the museum there and the actual bridge we're going to visit today. And I'm sure there's a couple of, I suppose, landmark areas of where the glider pilots actually landed at night without lights.
Yeah. So we're going to go and show you that later on this afternoon, but we're just going to go for a run. But a couple of people have wanted to know how we're getting on throughout our French trip with the new inverter and electrical system that's been put in. Yeah. So Lee is going to explain a little bit about how we've kept it going this time. So
it works great, to be honest. If we look at the screen, we are on 87%, but we're receiving 4.24 amps. That would be solar charge. It says the battery will be fully charged in 15 hours. And just have a little look at the app. Let's see what the amps are. Bear in mind, I suppose the sun's been up in about an hour, so it's still rising. 125 watts is actually what's coming in right now. So there'll still be more sun, and like I say, it is still quite low, so it's not too bad. So we drove for the 3.5 hours, and we were pretty much 100% when we arrived.
I think we put about 20% in.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh no, we were about 80, weren't we? And then you got, so about 20%. Well, maybe a little bit less, but
if I just look at the battery now, so we have got 463 amp hours of power still left. You have to be careful not to drain it all off the inverter, because obviously the inverter will take a lot of power.
Like me, make sure I turn it off.
But as long as you've got a big decent battery, then there'd be no problem at all. This is another site where we can plug in. I think it's got it within the price. However, we don't need to, and I'm not going to. So it'll only be desperate measures. So the sun, the drive-in, it's all kept it up. But we're here stationary for the next couple of days, really. So let's see how well the solar does with keeping us maintained and with power.
Yeah, we're going to try and keep off grid as much as we can, and just sort of test it out, really, see how we do. So we have got some good weather at the moment, so we'll have sun to help charge it up. Yeah. So it would be longer, basically, than the bad weather. One thing I didn't realise is that our old Sergeant, when you go into the power on this, because we've got the original solar panel, then we had the 2 extra put on with this system. The old solar panel is charging the vehicle battery now.
Yeah, so that's keeping the vehicle battery topped up. And all I've pretty much done is stop the smart charge and just told it that this is for the vehicle only now. Smart charge will be alternated between vehicle and leisure battery, so we don't do that now.
We'll keep you informed how we get on with it. Some people are interested, so I say we'll try and stay off grid as much as we can. Yeah. And then we are going to a campsite at some point, but we may charge up there. We don't know yet. We haven't decided. Yeah, no. See how we get on.
You know, by the time we get there, we'll probably have a full battery again. So, just one thing before we go out for a run and leaving it here, we have pulled ourselves away from the port a little bit, just to keep off the coast. So, for us to get down to Pegasus Bridge is going to be a bike ride onto the beaches. But we have put security on the van. As you know, we've got the Van Guardian, so I will be setting that. Also, I've got my cameras up and live, so I'll just show you, for those that haven't seen the cameras, what we do with the blink cameras and where they are. One either side on the mirrors. And then you can see the one on the rear. So with subscriptions to them to save your video, every time we do a big trip like this, then I'll go live. So if we was living in the van and stuff like that, I'll probably just have the subscription running all the time, but I only have it when we're actually going to use the cameras. So cameras are on, the Van Guardian will be set, the steering lock and the pedal locks are all on.
And there's a barrier.
And there's a barrier. So hopefully the van should be fine.
Yeah, so I only put in for one night yesterday, thinking we were driving off and coming back. So, but you do get for this. We will put the name of this air on here, because it just says an air park to me, so I don't know what it's called. But you do get like a little ticket with a code on, and I believe I can now go in and just put that code in, and it'll give me the option to add another night.
We will catch you after the run when we're heading down to Pegasus Bridge. Really,
that's if I can breathe. You might just get Lee talking. You might be glad of that, actually.
So we've been back now from the run, all showered, ready to rock and roll. I've got my helmet on, bikes are over there.
I'm just getting my helmet and my shoes on. So that run was quite good, and we're going the same way, so it's through some fields. So we ran out a mile and a half, turned around and came back, didn't we? Yeah. But we're going to take you around that way anyway, if we can. While we're riding a bike, we'll do the best to film some of the area for you. So if you are into like walking, running, or you're going to take your dog for a walk, it's quite a nice area to walk down, isn't it? So that was fairly easy. So I knew there was a code on here, and I had an idea I would have to put that in to extend it. And earlier on I was trying to barcode these things, and it was like QR code them, should I say, and it was just coming up with nothing. That's because all you have to do is put that in front of the machine, it scans it, and then it just says, do you want to extend a day? And that's it. So that's your original ticket. You don't get another ticket, that code's yours. So if you want to extend, you've got to keep that for the next night. And then you just get, if you want proof, just get a receipt. So that's basically us now, tonight up until 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Right, lovely.
We're sorted.
Okay, so we made it to the bridge, so Pegasus Bridge. This is where the British 6th Airborne Division landed, near this bridge, on the night of the 5th of June 1944, as a spearhead to the Allied Armies of Liberation. So,
and if you carry on reading, you'll read it in French.
You can just see that bridge here. And I believe this is the bridge that they took as a key point to the war. And over there is where some of the gliders landed, which we're going to have a look at. I think for now, what we're going to do is find the museum. I'm not sure if it's this side or that side, actually. And we'll have a little look around the museum, eh? Yeah,
it's like a huge canal or something, doesn't it? Like river?
Yeah, I think it does go out to the sea.
Yeah.
To the port area. So it just runs alongside, yeah.
But there is a cycle path or a walking route right along here as well.
Yeah, and from the site we was at, it was easy to get to, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the best way of doing it.
Bike, I mean, you can walk, it might take an hour and a bit.
But if you just put cycle route into Pegasus Bridge from where we were, it'll give you, and it's probably the best for walking really as well if you were going to walk. I'd say use that as well. Keeps you off the busy roads and stuff. And you never know with Google Maps, you could end up walking on a road with no path. Says this is where it all began with the famous Coup de Main operation on the 6th of June 1944 at 0:16 hours London time. On a very dark night, 3 gliders crash landed near Bendable Bridge.
So that's the name of the local village. So that was the original name of the bridge.
Yeah, which has since been named as Pegasus Bridge.
Yeah.
Then it starts telling you about a little bit more about it. I just don't know how much. But if you want to pause that, you can read it.
There you go, so that's what it would have looked like in the war. You can see the gliders there, just laid out.
It says the events around the Bendable Bridge, now called Pegasus Bridge, marked the start of what is now called the Battle of Normandy. The capture of the Orne Bridge at Ranville and the capture of the Bailey-type weighbridge over the canal at Bendable remains the most famous mission of the 6th British Airborne Division.
Look at this gun. That's a big old gun, so that would have been looking out, protecting, I suppose, these waterways. And if we go down this way, that's where we're going to see where the gliders landed, and I think there is something to simulate that, or basically showing their positions of when they sort of stormed this area. Bikes are parked up just there and locked. It's the Memorial Pegasus, so we're going to go inside and see what that's about. So it's a nice little museum, and it's €9.50 to get in. But yeah, just shows you and runs through the history of the Battle of Normandy. Ruperts. Well, they're basically dummies that used to chuck out the aircraft just to make it look like that. One, there was more soldiers, and two, they had a different target to shoot at. All made out of sandbags, actually. So we're looking at these 2 soldiers here. On the left, this would have been the paratroopers from the Second World War, how they carried their kit and what they had on them. And then this one here is a modern day paratrooper.
And how they carry their stuff now.
Yeah. I think the parachutes are probably slightly different. I mean, don't look really like it's got much on his back, but it's quite a big parachute there.
Yeah, that's
Colonel... It's a gallantry medal of some sort. Sorry.
Colonel Sweeney, known as Ted.
That might be a bit of a better picture. So in reference to where we were at the bridge, we were standing near the gun turret here. So then just down this path here is where you're going to see the 3 gliders that landed. Where the paratroopers landed, and then got them assaulting across the bridge to take the bridge. And you would have had the German troops on this side.
These are the burying medals of Alfred Shute, 7th Parachute Battalion. And that must be, maybe he's mentioned in there, I don't know.
There's medals down there.
Yeah. He's got Devon and Dorset written on the side as well.
So looking at the map, Pegasus Bridge is going to be over here. Probably around here somewhere. It's got different marks there, probably where the troops were. So you can see a lot of the glider planes there.
It lights it up.
There.
So if you want to see gliders, look.
Right.
See the green light?
It must have been their way in.
That's quite interesting.
Yeah. You see the pattern that where they all came in from the shore. You can see the crafts that are dropping them off. So the Marines are going to push up that way, and all the gliders and that are in there.
It says main dressing stations were quickly established by parachute field ambulances to deal with the large number of casualties which they started to receive from early on D-Day. The 8th Battalion parachuted onto Drop Zone K near Torfreville, firstly to destroy a number of bridges over the dives and then to hold the southern sector of the eastern flank. In the first few days, the battalion was under heavy pressure and fought off attacks by armoured units. The commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Pearson, personally led some of these fighting patrols. Combat support arms played key roles in each of the bridges, but none had a more important role than the Royal Engineers, who were in charge of demolition and defence works. The primary task of destroying the bridges over the river dives. All the bridges were destroyed, but the demolition of the one at Truan was carried out in a spectacular and particularly courageous manner. A section of the squadron, having landed well wide of their drop zone and with little time to spare, commandeered a jeep and loaded a trailer with explosives, led by Major Tim Rose.
I wonder if it actually works. So we've just come outside now. There's a few things dotted around outside. You've got a couple of the vehicles. I believe it's probably the vehicles that they actually took onto the gliders, because they did load them up with vehicles as well. That must be just a gun that was already here. Then again, that gun looks like it was actually mounted on a vehicle. It's an M45.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Quad mount.
Quad mount. So yeah. But what I'm wondering is, you've got this other bridge here. Now it's got Pegasus Bridge on it. So I'm kind of wondering if this is the original bridge, and the one actually we crossed earlier, if that's the newer model of it. This looks very much the same. Yeah. But it does make me wonder if this was the original bridge. I can't see anything on it as yet. And there's a Bailey Bridge here, so I don't know.
Well, that's Bailey Bridge.
Yeah. I think it's just explaining a bit about a Bailey Bridge.
Yeah, there's more Bailey Bridges around the area as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, here we've got basically a memorial. And the different companies and such they served with. Different platoons.
This memorial is dedicated to the men of Coupe de Main glider operation, who spearheaded the entire D-Day invasions force with the Darling raid to capture Pegasus and Horsa bridges in the opening minutes of the 6th of June 1944.
The bridge behind me looks like the exact replica, so I'm wondering if that's the bridge now here in the museum. I don't know, I've just got a feeling there'd been no reason for this bridge to be here if this weren't the original bridge.
Oh, look at this sleigh.
Yeah.
This is a memorial in memory of Lieutenant H.D. Brotheridge, Oxford and Buckinghamshire Light Infantry, who was the first British soldier to die in action on D-Day landings. His platoon crossed this bridge.
Okay, so this is the original bridge then. So as you can see there, I think this might be, yes, this is an original section offered to the Memorial Pegasus by the Museum of the Army Flying, Middle Wallop. So, and the total length of the fuselage is 20 metres, more than twice the length of this section. So, I hope you can see through the window all right, but that was yeah, donated from Middle Wallop Army Flying Museum.
And this shows you where these parts have come from on the actual glider.
Oh, yes.
So they've got obviously string or cord needed to where that bit would have come from.
It is mad though that these were just built out of wood, always, and literally no engine. They glide. Obviously it needs another aircraft to bring them up into the air. And you can just see on this one where at the front here you've got a tank sitting in there. At the end of the day, these were going to battle and the aircraft themselves were never coming home. That was not their design. So they've got different variants there.
We will show you inside the big glider in a bit. There's just a tow going around at the moment, so we can't like jump in, especially because they're speaking French and we can't even explain what we're doing.
They're quite a size actually. Look at the wingspan on that. They're quite big. Let's see if I can go up and have a little pop my head in. So I'm looking inside. Someone's made themselves comfortable, but yeah, it goes right the way back there. And then it's so basic. Like a tiller lever, I would have thought. Pull that backwards and forwards and then steer it with possible rudder type thing. Yeah, very big. Well, that's wrapped up the museum. We're going to go back and get the bikes now, and then we're going to go head down to where the bridge sits today, and we're going to go and look for the precise location of where the 3 gliders landed on that side of the bridge. Now, yes, there was some on the other side and there was different landing spots, but this was the 3 that...
Yeah, there was a 3 and then there was a 2.
A 2 one side,
that I read about.
So we go and have a little look and see if we can find their locations. I think we've found the first one, the Horsa glider of Major R.J. Howard, Oxfordshire and Buckinghamshire Light Infantry, who commanded the operation to capture the bridge, landed on this spot. So right here, this is where he would have landed, and in comparison, the bridge is literally just behind me there. So right next to the bridge. That ain't too bad, is it? And he landed with Lieutenant H.O. Brotherside and 23 soldiers at 00:1600 hours on the 6th of June 1944. The pilots were Staff Sergeants Walkwork and Answorth. So yeah, so this is where the first one landed, but there was 3, so you're going to have one bit further down and then another one further down from there.
This is Major John Howard.
There he is.
I wonder if they've got it really looking like him. Operation Dead Stick was entrusted to the British soldiers of the 6th Airborne Division. The operation involved seizing control of the Benneville and Ranville bridges. Both bridges had to remain intact. So Major Howard, who we saw over there, Major Howard's men are tasked to secure the bridges and therefore hold their position and wait for the support team, the 7th Parachute Battalion and their number 4 commando for reinforcement.
Looking at this then, this was Lieutenant R.A. Smith. He piloted by Staff Sergeants Barkway and Boyle, and also carrying Captain J. Thangan. Royal Army Medical Corps, and 26 soldiers landed on this spot at 00:1800, so 2 minutes later than the first spot, on 6th of June 1944. 2 minutes must have seemed a long time for them to get a bit of backup troops.
Yeah. I will just correct you on the name, though, just out of respect. I think that's actually Vaughan or Vaughnan. Vaughnan, because it's spelled Vau. So I think it's just in case we've got that wrong. We do apologise. We're not the greatest with names and places pronunciations.
I'm terrible.
See where we were. just for that bridge. The bridge is there, and then there's a pathway down here with the other two were up there, and we've just ridden around here, and there's another one.
That's where the third one landed. I wonder what time this one landed, if they came in that order. So yeah, in this Horsa glider there was Lieutenant DJ Wood, piloted by Staff Sergeant Boland and Hobbs, and also carrying Captain HRK Nelson, Royal Engineers, and 26 soldiers landed on this spot at 00:1700 hours. So it would have been the first one, then this one would have landed second, and then the one in the middle landed third. So pretty much they all landed within a minute of each other. 6th of June 1944.
God, if they were that close, they're lucky not to have crashed into each other.
Well, there is that, yeah, so they are lucky they didn't.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
But I suppose from the sky, you know, they had to get as close to that bridge as possible at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh, wow, fascinating.
Yeah. We have decided to stop off just right next to the bridge, actually.
Yeah, it's called the Liberty, isn't it?
The Liberty, so we're going to take it all in, and we're going to have a nice cold drink because the sun's shining. We will enjoy this pint. Cheers. Actually, I think it's the first pint we've had since we've been in France.
It is.
Good morning, everyone. Yesterday was a great success, and we had a really good day down at Pegasus Bridge.
We left you in the bar.
We did. That's where we left you.
We only had that one drink, and then we had to cycle back, so we was a bit worried about riding the bike if we'd had more than one drink, so we decided just the one, and then we came back here.
And most of it is through fields, so if you was to stay on this air, you can get about quite well actually through fields. Well, today might be slightly different, however you will find that out on the next vlog.
What will be slightly different?
We won't be driving through fields, it'll be through the village.
See, I don't know where we're going, that's why.
So yeah.
He doesn't really tell me, I just find out each day.
Yeah, today we're going to be going through the village, so we're still on our bikes, but before that we're off for another run because it has got lovely fields back there, all open ground, nice track, so we're going to get another run in.
But I think we've got enough on this vlog, haven't we? That's what we were saying, so really we need to close this one off and pick you up again when we come back from our run and take you with us.
Yes. So we're heading on to
for the next vlog.
For the next vlog. So we're heading on to the coast today. There's a few things we want to see there. So yeah, thank you to everyone that's supporting and following, and everyone that's subscribed. And we will catch you on the next one. So until then, bye.
Au revoir.